स्टार्ट।
चलो बहुत बढ़िया। देखो उसमें देखो।
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, hi. I have just gone to your Facebook post.
yeah,
That's why I joined here.
yeah, sure. Thank you. Please join us.
Thank you. What will be the duration of this overall?
Overall, we are targeting to finish in 1 hour.
Okay, okay, sure. Thank you.
लोग जुड़ गए अभी।
Sir, so far we have around 15 people already joined us, 23 rather, and है तो most likely people must be joining.
कितने हो गए?
Sir, so far 23 persons has already joined, and Sardana sir
रिकॉर्डिंग
is
का
also.
कर लिया तुमने?
Yes, sir.
अब क्लैरिटी ठीक है?
Yeah, sir.
सर को पहली बार देख रहे हैं। भाई सर बारसी मीना मेरी टेक्नोलॉजी से पास आउट हूँ अभी 96 में सर।
थोड़ा कैमरा सही कर लो, शक्ल पूरी दिखा दो।
ओके ओके ओके।
आधी मुंह दिखाई क्यों कर रहे हो?
जी जी जी।
कैसे हो मीणा साहब?
बस बढ़िया है सर।
कहाँ हो आजकल?
अभी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर में अटैच डायरेक्टरेट हमारा एगमार्क डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ मार्केटिंग इंस्पेक्शन।
कहाँ, दिल्ली?
अभी यही जयपुर में पोस्टेड है सर, रीजनल ऑफिस है।
क्या लगता है तुमको ये मिलावट का धंधा रुक सकता है?
हाँ,
आपका
क्यों नहीं
सबसे
सर?
बड़ा रोल है एगमार्क का।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, क्यों नहीं सर, कर रहे हैं कोशिश बहुत।
इवन एक्चुअली सर फर्स्ट वेबिनार में यहाँ के जो कमिश्नर हैं मिस्टर के शर्मा वो भी आए थे, बट थोड़ा लेट आए थे तो ज़्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं हो पाया था। बट अभी सर मतलब डिफिकल्ट तो बहुत है सर, मतलब जिस हिसाब से चीज़ें हो रही है ना ऑन ग्राउंड पे, इट्स टू डिफिकल्ट।
कोई डिफिकल्ट नहीं है यार। मीणा साहब को पता है कि जिस दिन सरकार चाहेगी सब साले लाइन पे आ जाएंगे।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं सर।
जिस दिन सोच लिया ना मीणा साहब और उसके डिपार्टमेंट ने कि लाइन करना है 24 घंटे में सब लाइन अप हो जाएगा।
नहीं, बहुत बढ़िया काम चल रहा है हमारा तो सर। और अभी आपने जब मुद्दा उठाया है, बीच में मैं पढ़ रहा था अपने ग्रुप पे भी, तो उसी दौरान मिनिस्ट्री में भी काफी इसका एजिटेशन हुआ है, कई कंप्लेनें भी गई है। उसके बाद हमारा एक स्पेशल ड्राइव चल रहा है सर, स्पेशली ब्लेंडेड ऑयल में और मस्टर्ड ऑयल में।
ऐसा है, देखो मीणा साहब,
जी सर।
जितने मस्टर्ड वाले हैं,
जी जी
सिंपल सा, मैं आपको अलग से बात करेंगे,
जी।
मैं आपको नाम तक बता दूंगा कौन कौन से खिलाड़ी क्या क्या कर रहे हैं।
बिल्कुल, हमारी मिनिस्ट्री में वहाँ पहुंची है सर, और वहाँ से कुछ कुछ केस, कुछ लिस्टों का पता लगा है, डिटेल हमारे यहाँ तक से हमने लिया है। कई तो ऐसे जो FSI लाइसेंस ले लिया उन्होंने, उसके बावजूद ब्लेंडेड ऑयल में पैक किया होगा, तो ऐसी भी कुछ कंप्लेनें थी। तो जो हमारे यहाँ पैकर्स थे अबाउट 37 के आसपास ब्लेंडेड ऑयल लाइसेंस होल्डर है। इसके अलावा भी लोग काफी इधर उधर से नाम आए थे।
देखो 2-3 काम कर लो आप। एक तो सिंपल सा खेल है आपका, जितना भी मिलावट हो रहा है उसमें तो एक प्योरली राइस ब्रांड आ रहा है।
जी जी सर।
तो ओराइजन ऑयल का टेस्ट कर लो, ऑयल।
हाँ,
जो ओराइजन ऑयल पकड़ा गया सीधा अंदर,
बिल्कुल
सोचना ही नहीं है, क्योंकि राइस ब्रांड में ओराइजन ऑयल
जी।
है ना।
जी सर।
दूसरा, जो गड़बड़ हो रही है मस्टर्ड में, तो प्लेन खेल ये है।
जी
दूसरा, जितनी भी कंपनियां हैं आपकी, उन सब में जो आपका डीओ निकलता है फैक्ट्रियों से, और खासकर दूसरा जो फैटी जिसको ये बोलते हैं, एसिड ऑयल, उसको ट्रैक करो कि किसको बेचा। जितने एसिड ऑयल वाले लोग हैं जो खरीद रहे हैं, उन सब पे सर्वेलेंस कर लो, वो सब उसमें ग्लिसरीन मिला के और मिलावट कर रहे हैं, और वो ज्यादा खतरनाक है बिकॉज दैट इज ए टॉक्सिक ऑयल।
Good afternoon, sir.
कौन? तुषार?
Yes, तुषार sir.
क्या हाल है यार?
एकदम
अपना कैमरा सही कर, पूरी शक्ल नहीं दिख रही।
अरे सर इतना
हाँ,
तो दिख रहा है।
अब बेटर है, अब दिखा है,
Okay,
अब दिखा है।
fine. Actually sir, I am representative of Ashku Technology LLP और हम लोगों ने CSIR NPL के साथ MOU साइन किया हुआ है RM एंड CRM के लिए, और अभी रिसेंटली लास्ट मंथ में ही जो एडल्ट्रेशन ऑफ ऑयल है उसके लिए हमने ऑल ओवर इंडिया में प्योर ऑयल लॉन्च किए हुए हैं टू चेक द एडल्ट्रेशन इन ऑयल।
अरे यार, एडल्ट्रेशन एंड ऑयल के लिए प्योर लॉन्च की जो कर रहे हैं उनको अंदर करो ना
सर। वो लीगल डिपार्टमेंट है, वो मीना साहब करेंगे ना।
मीना साहब, मुझे आप अपना जरा नंबर भेज देना अलग से।
जी।
So, sir, now is it 2:03. So, should we wait for some more time or we should
5
start?
मिनट रुक जाओ, फिर शुरू। कितने लोग आ गए?
So far, sir, we have 35 people already joined.
2-4 मिनट और रुक जाओ, लोग कर रहे
Sure,
होंगे
sir.
ज्वाइन।
Yeah, we'll wait for 5 more minutes, sir. Yeah.
क्योंकि लोग कईयों ने पहली बार डाउनलोड किया होगा ये ऐप।
True, true,
थोड़ा सा
true.
time
They must be
लगेगा।
facing. Yeah.
Hello Vijay, how are you? Kamlesh Kapade here.
जी सर, हाउ आर यू?
Fine boss.
यार शक्ल तो दिखा दो गुरुजी।
हाँ ओके दिखा देता हूँ, ठीक है।
सर कैसे हैं?
फर्स्ट क्लास।
कहाँ? बॉम्बे में, पुणे में?
बॉम्बे में।
क्या हाल है आसपास?
आसपास जो सब जगह है वही यहाँ है।
लॉकडाउन?
लॉकडाउन आजकल किसी को भी पूछो, सवाल 10 होते हैं, जवाब एक ही होता है।
मतलब कोई ये नहीं पूछता कि कहाँ गए थे, सब पूछते घर पे ही है ना।
नहीं अगर पूछते हैं कि कैसे हो तो उसका जवाब भी यही वही है जो है।
सही बात है सर।
सर, ये वाला क्वेश्चन मेरे लिए बहुत रिलेवेंट है। क्या हाल चाल है? मेरे जस्ट बगल में कल एक कोविड पॉजिटिव निकला है, जस्ट नेक्स्ट टू माय फ्लैट।
भाई अभी क्वारंटाइन हूँ भैया, सामने मेरे फ्लैट के सामने ही है।
सर सेम टू यू। मैं भी।
सर आधे से ज्यादा वैसे ही मिलेंगे, सब लोग होम क्वारंटाइन ही है। अहमदाबाद का भी सिचुएशन वैसा ही है।
Oil adulteration. Vijay Sardana.
हाय नारायण, हाउ आर यू?
Very fine.
कैसे हो?
Fine, sir, and looking forward to your presentation and also the expert panel, sir.
थैंक यू सो मच। सुशील, क्या स्टेटस?
Yeah, sir. So we have a 40 plus now.
आई थिंक वी शुड स्टार्ट, पीपल विल ज्वाइन।
Yeah. Sure.
और तुम वैसे भी तो रिकॉर्ड कर ही लोगे, तो
Yes.
जो मिस कर गए दे कैन सी लेटर ऑन आल्सो।
Yeah.
It has been raining down here, sir, so better to start early. Internet
Yeah.
connectivity.
या वी विल डू दैट।
मीटिंग को ओपन ही रखो, क्लोज मत करना।
हाँ, मीटिंग ओपन रखना सुशील।
हाँ।
डोंट क्लोज इट। दोज हु वांट टू जॉइन, लेट देम जॉइन व्हेनेवर दे वांट।
Yes, sir. Yeah, sure. And yeah, okay, fine. Also, I'm requesting the KNP team, just in the chat box, you can, please post the link of the WhatsApp. So in case people wanted to, see the video link of this webinar, they can always refer to the same WhatsApp. Okay, so we are going to start the session now. We are already at 2:06. We have 5 minutes. We have waited for everyone. So, and we are already 45 plus now. And so we are starting formally the meeting now. So I'm Sushil Vaishnav. I'm the founder of the KNP Arises Green Energy Private Limited. And our company is basically working in towards of collecting the waste oil, which is currently going into the hands of the different unorganized players. And these players use this oil for the mixing it again with the fresh oil and bring it to our food plates again. So our prime objective, to restrict this particular adulteration and convert this oil into the biodiesel. So biodiesel is also another amazing green fuel which helps the environment and protect the lot of emission from the different vehicles, boilers, and so on. And in the today's topic, we have a privilege to have our esteemed speaker, Mr. Vijay Sardana. Mr. Vijay Sardana, probably, we don't need an introduction because we must be seeing him on our regular life on daily basis on different news channels. Mr. Vijay Sardana recently have made a statement about the middle class, actually that has gone viral. And we have seen in so many platforms. He has very nicely elaborated what exactly the middle class society is. Mr. Vijay Sardana is a techno-legal business consultant, also risk management expert. Mr. Vijay Sardana is the advocate in the Delhi High Court and arbiter at ICA. Mr. Vijay Sardana is PGDBM IIM Ahmedabad, BSc Food Tech CFTRI, BSc Dairy Technology. Also, he has done so many different courses from the Harvard and the different universities. Mr. Vijay Sardana is also an esteemed panel of the different government organizations. He is a member in Niti Aayog. He is also participating. He's a member with the SEBI. He is member with the NABARD. So, it's a privilege to hear Mr. Vijay Sardana. And I would like to hand over the entire stage or webinar to Mr. Vijay Sardana, sir, so he can take us through today's topic, which is about the oil adulteration, associated health risk, and the need for regulatory reforms. Because in the current scenario where in the COVID, only our health, how strong our immunity is, how good what we eat, that's what depicts our future. So on these notes, sir, I will hand over this entire webinar to you, sir. And after your primary session, we will go for the question answer round, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Sushil. In fact, it's a Sunday and in Delhi it's raining, so it's a good weather here, but we all are locked out because of Corona. And I welcome all of you on this extremely vital issue because there is no cooking in Indian kitchen without edible oils.
True.
And quality of edible oil is extremely important because when we are using any item for our food preparation, it must be pure, it must be good. Now, why we have picked up this serious issue of edible oil, there are various reasons behind it. I'm not saying that all other products are safe, healthy, or not adulterated. The reason why we have picked up edible oil because it has a very serious health and economic implication, and we found that there has to be beginning somewhere. So, considering the list of priority, we thought, why not we start with a simple product like edible oil, and we move into it. If there are any speakers on, if you can put on mics on, if you can put on mute, there will be less disturbance. Now, let me tell you why edible oil is becoming so important and why edible oil is so adulterated. We have to look at the reason behind it. First of all, see, today our requirement is something about 23-24 million tons of edible oil in this country. On an average, around 17 liters per head, we consider that average intake of edible oil. Whatever we are consuming as a country, almost 70% of that edible oil is imported. It means that as a country, whatever we are producing, we do not have enough supplies, we are importing. When we are importing anything in this country, obviously, besides quality, price is also a big determinant because whatever is cheapest comes into India. On the other side, if you look into the game, that in this whole consumption system, the way purchasing power is increasing, the way population is increasing in this country, the estimate is that by 2025, we will be needing something around 28 million tons of edible oil.
Oh, wow.
28 million tons of edible oil means we will be, if we have to produce 100% in-house, means within India, then we need something about 83 to 84 million tons of oil seeds. And this is just impossible the way we look at agriculture, the productivity, the systems, the technologies available. It means edible oil will remain always a tricky business, both for farmers, traders, importers, and other processors. With this approach, if we look into the ecosystem, because of this disparity, and on the other side, our preferences in India, if you look into, the most popular oils in India are technically our native oils, like mustard, we have till oil, we have groundnut oil, which were considered as premium oil. And most of the households prefer to use our native pure oils. And these oils were preferred because of their organoleptic properties, because of their smell, because of their taste, and in various preparations like pickles and other things, because of color as well. Now, these products, which are God's gift to all of us, because of their organoleptic properties, unfortunately also become a prime target for adulteration. Because whatever you want to mix in that, take example of mustard oil. Mustard oil, pungent mustard oil, which is dark in color. Whatever you will mix in this, all other adulterants can easily be, you can say, submerged or go into hiding because of smell and color. Now that is why today mustard oil is the most adulterated oil in the country. Now, what people are doing in adulteration? Let's come back to systematically what we are looking into and how we should look at it. On the other side, before I go into the theme of it, let me also look at why people consume edible oil. Is there any alternate to edible oils? We all know that in nutrition, we all say that, we should consume essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids are required for our normal body functioning. If I am not consuming edible oil, then I need other sources of fats and oils where I can get essential fatty acids, whether it can be milk source, or I will say that fat source from milk, or it can be in different places. Somewhere people can use oil extracted from animals or from sea creatures. It depends upon the society. But in India, which is primarily vegetarian, and our society generally avoid animal sources other than milk, predominantly we have vegetable oils and exclusive category, you can say, dairy fat. These are the two general things which we generally consume as a cooking media in our household consumption. As as commercial establishments, students, whether it is processed food industry, whether it is snack food industry, or whatever we are looking at, we should be very clear that these are commercial establishments. For them, cost is the most important aspect. People do claim on their label that we use healthy oil, nutritious oil, but if you go into detail, end of the day, what is the decision making is purely commercial. That whatever is cheapest is their preference. And that is why when rice bran oil was cheap, all were using rice bran oil. The day rice bran oil become expensive than palmolene, overnight all corporates and companies shifted to palm. So overnight, the concept of nutrition was out of the window. Now this is what we have to keep factor in mind, that as a household consumption, consumers are looking at sensory properties and commercial establishments are looking at price as a priority, and part of that, if in recipe requires, then we are talking about sensory qualities. Now, why people adulterate oils? We have to be very clear on that, and then we will go into details. As we know that oil is a tradable commodity. Trade means when you are doing trading, it means you have to make profit out of it. If I am not able to make profit through a fair means by doing business with honesty, then people resort to unfair trade means, then whether it is adulteration, then whether it is any other form of a manipulation, underweight, whatever you look at it, unfortunately, all forms of unethical practices go into business just to sustain the profitability, or if there are greed in the minds of promoters, then they go, even if the business is sustainable, they go for adulteration just to enhance their profitability or the cash flow. And this business is purely driven by greed when it comes to adulteration, because nobody is looking at the quality and type of adulterants they are using. For them, the difference between a pure oil, which is demanded by the consumers, and the cost of adulterant, which is the cheapest option available, that difference is the driving force, nothing else. Let me give you a few examples and then we'll proceed on that. Take example of mustard oil. As I mentioned to you, that mustard oil is dark in color, very strong aroma, which we call it pungency. Any oil which is substandard, which is not fit for refining, or which is, you can say anything which is dark in color, which can submerge into the color of mustard, is ideal candidate for adulteration as long as it is cheap. Number two, the point is that in the whole process, what are the oils which are cheap? Today, rice bran oil, which is coming as a byproduct of rice bran oil industry, which is not fit for human consumption or where the refining losses are very high, product with very high FFA, it goes into adulteration. Soybean oil, which is not properly refined and which is DO in color, we call it deodorized. It means we just remove the color, aroma of the oil, but we retain the color, because removing color also takes extra refining cost. So to save on the refining cost, because the dark color is suitable for mixing, that mixing goes into mixing in oil. Fortunately, these 2-3 products are oils, if let me put that way. Today, unfortunately, the more dangerous trend is when you do refining, during refining process, you take fatty acids out of it. Many, unfortunately, criminal mindset elements, those who are running companies, they mix glycerin with these fatty acids, reconvert that glycerin plus fatty acids into diglycerides and monoglycerides, and they mix back into the oil. Because when you mix back into the oil, there is no way you can detect what is added into the oil, because when you do the fatty acid analysis, you will get diglyceride, monoglyceride and triglyceride. Unfortunately, this glycerin plus diglyceride combination, which is a purely, we have heard so far about synthetic milk. You can call this as a synthetic oil. This synthetic oil is highly carcinogenic. It means if you are consuming this oil, which is mixed with glycerin and the product with, fatty acids, if it is mixed in edible oil like mustard, this oil becomes highly health hazard. Now we have two types of risk here. One is health risk and second is economic risk. And I've explained to you the sources of it. In a question and answer session, we can go into detail how it happens, what it happens, who do, why people do, and all that. Now, what is happening here? Let me explain briefly. Health risk leads to cancer in the consumers. If you are using that synthetic oil, it makes the whole oil highly carcinogenic because of synthetic oil. Second, this oil also reduces the cost, because that oil may be available at 30, 40, 50 rupees a liter, because it is a byproduct of a refinery industry, which there is no alternate use to it. So this is the cheapest so-called waste available from the refining industry, which people convert back with the help of glycerin and mix in the oil. So in a 100 rupees oil, if you are mixing a oil of 40 rupees a kg or 35, 40, 50 rupees a kg, you can understand, even if somebody is mixing 10% of it or 20% of it, you can understand in a quantity of 100 tons, what is the total margin one can make out of it. Second problem comes up is when you are mixing substandard or toxic oil into the good oil, then the good manufacturers, those who want to supply to differentiate between good and bad product, then what happens? Take example of mustard oil today. To make 1 kg of mustard oil, you need 3 kg of mustard oil, mustard seed. When you are doing this, it means today if mustard is on an average 40 to 45 rupees a kg, mustard 30 rupees a kg. But you go to internet, you go to various sites, you go to the market, mustard oil is available in 100 rupees, 105 rupees. In some remote area, you can even get it 95 rupees, 90 rupees. Point here comes up is that there is a message that there is a disturbance. So if people can switch off their, I will say mic or put on mute, that will help everybody.
Yeah, we request everyone, please put your mics on the mute because there is a noise
Sushil,
coming
if you
from
can do from control, that will help. If there is a...
Sir, actually, in this particular, we are not getting it.
Okay,
I tried
fine.
it.
So we will request others.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to 120, 130 rupees a pure oil, and if adulterated oil is available at 100 rupees or 105, how an honest manufacturer will survive? Because for consumer, it is very difficult to differentiate which is adulterated and which is pure. And unfortunately, what happens in this case, that all adulterated as well as non-adulterated, all writes very, very, very clearly. There is another request that if we can switch off the cameras so that voice quality will improve. So I will request if those who are not speaking, they can switch off the camera. So in that case, what we have to look at is very, very clearly that this is a commercial offense against the honest manufacturer. And this is where the biggest problem is, that now, because honest manufacturer is not able to sell the product, he reduces the purchase of the oil from the oilseed from the farmer, and then the farmer starts suffering because he is not getting MSP or his cost of production of the crop. And that is leading to either stagnation in oilseed production in the country or decline in the oilseed production, because farmer is finding that there is no incentive for him to spend efforts and money to increase the productivity of oilseeds. So adulteration is not only a health hazard for citizens, but it also an economic offense against the nation and the farmers, and also against the honest manufacturers. And that is why our request to the policymaker is that when it comes to adulteration of food, it should be treated very ruthlessly, and there should not be any concession to any person who is, because nobody is doing adulteration by mistake. All adulterations are planned. It is not happening that in a farm of or in a field of mustard, suddenly you are getting groundnut or you are getting palm. People are buying adulterant and mixing into oil. So it means it is an intentional act. It is not an unintentional act. In that case, there should not be a mercy under any pretext that we are lenient, it mistake ho gaya, chhod dijiye, baad mein dekh lenge. I think there should be a very clear law that any person who is doing adulteration should be treated as a criminal, and because he is hurting the health and national economy, so he should be treated as a criminal, not as a civil offense. And that is my first recommendation. Now, which are the laws which are applicable when it comes to edible oil? Edible oils are covered by FSSAI, quality standards. We have AgMark standards when it comes to blended oils. And then we have a recommendatory standard which are through BIS. Incidentally, all three have a technical committee to look into the quality of oil. But when you read the standards of all the three agencies, technical parameters are different. And this difference actually creates more confusion, because people, those who do adulteration, they find a loophole between one or two systems and they carry on their businesses. For example, FSSAI in their chapter 22, they have 2.2 have standards for oil. Now look at, I'm giving you a few examples because there are too many things to look at it, so I'll not go into all, but which are important for us to look at it. In regulation 2.2, when it comes to oil standards, if you look at, there is no standard for color. Whereas in case of BIS, there is a norm for color. Now it is important for us to understand that when BIS talks about minimum standard quality, while making standard for edible oil under FSSAI, why they ignored such an important vital parameter? Because as I mentioned, that dark oil is used for mixing and used for adulteration. First recommendation is that all the three laws, whether it is BIS, whether it is AgMark, whether it is FSSAI, there must be a common standard parameter. Why there is a differentiation? There is no logic because it is a pure commodity. We are not talking a value-added product. We are not talking biscuits. We are not talking a variants of oil. When I'm saying mustard oil, when I'm saying soya oil, when I'm saying rice bran oil, when I'm saying palmolene or coconut oil or oil, they are pure commodities. Any deviation in the law actually gives a leeway for the manipulators to use that differential law and justify their crime. I am doing it under this law, not under this law. And that itself is a serious issue which all the three regulatory agencies, one has to look at it. Another area which has become a big source of manipulation, as long as we had pure oil in this country, the adulteration problem was comparatively less. But what has happened in the wisdom of to improve the better quality oil for consumer, and it is a pure science, we all know that no oil is ideal. In order to give a better oil to consumers, scientifically blending was permitted. Blending, if we do honestly and based on scientific parameters, it is a good concept. But the problem comes when the